Hey, everybody, welcome back to Portland Connection. Sherry Ferguson here with the Portland Chamber of Commerce, and I am here with Principal Mr. David Woods. How are you, Mr. Woods?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I know that things have changed. It was daily, now they're weekly. We don't know what's going on for next year, but we do have a lot of information. This past weekend, I believe that Portland was able to have a parent-led prom, and
That's what I've heard. I did talk to some of the kids. They thought there was probably about 250 kids there.
yes, I think that it went very well. I talked to one of the ladies that was helping to organize it today, so I think that it went real well. So they were very pleased with that. That's a great thing that the seniors and juniors were able to have an actual prom that they didn't think they were going to be able to have.
I'm
Now
I'm
we're
just keeping my fingers crossed that the coronavirus stayed away.
Yes, I agree. I think that we all, no matter where we go, we're always worried. Now, is this going to be different? Are we going to have more numbers, higher numbers? So hopefully we will just be able to get through this. And now our next event where you were able to help pull off was graduation. So I know
Right.
that Sumner County Board of Education worked really hard with you guys to come up with something. So tell us about what happened over the last 2 weeks, I guess.
2 weeks. Last 2 weeks we've kind of been organizing with Dr. Phillips and superintendent and our leaders at the central office, just trying to get a plan for how that's going to look. For for Portland, the last 7 years, and for Station Camp, Beach, and White House even longer than that, we've always been fortunate to use the facility at Long Hollow Baptist Church. And so they've been great to us over the years. I mean, it's like plug and play with those guys. You literally just show up, you're this big venue, you don't have to hardly do any of the work. I mean, they pull it all off. It's amazing. And the charge is zero. Everybody's like, how much does it cost to use that? They don't charge us a thing,
That's
which
awesome.
is not the case. Which is not the case for a lot of people that have those venues. So they're going back to church for their first service this weekend on Father's Day. And if you go to their website, they've got a lot of stipulations in place. I think it's limited capacity, under 50%, and there's a questionnaire. They're taking a lot of precautions, like most people are, because you just don't want to get anybody sick. I heard, been watching a lot of news channels, and one guy said last night, he said, we're kind of tired of the virus, but the virus is not tired of us. So, as you look around, I'm out in town today doing errands, and it looks like business as normal. I mean, it looks like people are just out and about, but you go to home tonight and listen to the news, and you hear, 21 states on the rise. I mean, it's not gone. So for graduation, we just had to, kind of come up with some plans to that big of a group, keep them distant. So the original plan was to go with what Long Haul was saying, about 50% or less capacity. With that being said, my school with 235 graduates, that only allows about 4 family members per graduate this year. Normally, we don't have to do that, but this year we're going to have to, which we're going to have to give tickets. And then that was just getting the parents in the main sanctuary, not the graduates. So we were going to do a graduation on the campus at another building with them and kind of pipe it in. That didn't go over too well with the families. Our thing is we were really thinking and concentrating more on the kids, on the seniors, getting them together, letting them see each other walk and that kind of thing. Where we kind of fell short was in thinking about them and getting them together, we forgot about mom and grandma. You know what I mean? So got a little kickback from that. So we were able to meet again yesterday, the schools that are going down there, principals and superintendent, and just kind of got a plan to where the graduates still aren't going to be in that building together because it would put us over the number. If I put all them in there, I'd have to kick another person out from each family. and knock it down to 3, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to walk them across the stage kind of individually. They're going to get their diploma. Parents are going to get to see it live, and then they're going to head off the stage. Now, the bad part of that is the kids themselves aren't going to see each other get their diploma. But either way, it's going to be live streamed, and it's going to be recorded, and we'll have those DVDs at the school. I think they're $20, and this year it's going to include the graduation ceremony. It's going to include the parade through town. We had several people take that. We're going to put that on there.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we do a senior video, and we also put the talent show from the staff on there, which we weren't able to do this year. But because the seniors didn't see last year's, we're going to put that last year's on there for them.
Well, that's awesome. I do know everybody has worked really hard to make these things happen. And I know that in give and take, that coming up with less kids and not having the kids, usually the kids sit in there, you get to see the kids sitting and then they get to walk up. So again, your first option kind of did not set well with Mama. So you get Mama Bear in there.
No.
And so I do think that this is a great. So will the students be still housed over at the student center and then just walking?
Yeah, we're gonna get them all together at the student center, and they're gonna kind of walk and come in the back and probably go through the line in groups of 20 or 25, and then group. We kind of do that anyway, but they're usually all sitting on the stage. We do like rows of 20 or 25. And we do one row all the way through, and then, we kind of give an applause, and we go next row. This time, we're just going to do it kind of in groups. They're going to be able to get their diploma and kind of stay on the stage. We're going to have little dots where they have to go stand, so they're spaced out, every 6 to 8 feet. And then once that group is done, we'll give them an applause, and they'll kind of be ushered back over to the building, and then the next group will do it because to end it, we're probably going to end it in the student center with my president and student body president moving a tassel and singing the alma mater. So it's going to be different. But the virus has kind of dictated this.
Right.
We're not trying to punish anybody. We're not trying to make it hard for anybody. Some people think the virus is gone. I don't believe that whatsoever because I still know people that are getting it. So safety is the biggest thing. And as far as the people in the arena, it's going to hold 900 to 1,000, but they're grouping them by family and spacing families out. Because if you've been with your family, that's probably okay, but we're going to kind of try to have that spaced out throughout the arena as best we can. And of course, anybody that wants to wear a mask, 100% fine, you can do that. I don't think it's going to be thoroughly enforced. We're not going to kind of get in that battle. But the people want to wear it, more than welcome to. Anything they think they need to do. And by all means, if people are kind of worried, then they don't need to come. We're going to have it live that day. I think the website is events.longhollow.com. It's also going to be on Facebook Live on the Sumner County Schools page, from what I understand. So anybody who's nervous or, just shouldn't be out, they stay at home and watch it. And like I said, we're also going to record it and have it for sale at the school about a week later for $20. Usually that thing goes for about $30, but we're like, hey, for the class of 2020, we're going to go $20.
Well, I know that they
keepsake.
It is, and I know that they've been through a lot, and that's just another thing that the staff has really worked to make this special as special as they can. They're definitely a special group. They've actually probably been able to do some things that others would never have thought. Of course, they've missed out on some things as well.
True.
So I do have somebody on here asking, I know it's a long shot with changes happening every day, but is there any information regarding one-stop night for this year?
No. There's no information regarding registration night. There's no information regarding starting school yet. Everybody's still kind of in wait and see mode there. Now, last year, if you remember, we did transfer to a new student data management system called Skyward, and that's when we started doing what was called online registration. I do understand that the instruction department sometime after July 6th is going to be pushing that information out. I know in my kids' district in Kentucky, they pushed it out and it went to our email, and I had to go in and basically, update things like our phone numbers if our address has changed, emergency contact information, medical info, things like that. Took like 10 minutes. So early in July, I would be on the lookout for an email from Sumner County Schools for the online registration part, which gets about 80% of what you need to do at One Stop Night done. The rest of it, things like school pictures, visiting booths for clubs, even paying fees, you can do that online now. So all that should be taken care of, but we really haven't had any information. I think we're just trying to get through graduation and the July 4th holiday, and then I got a feeling it's going to really ramp up, and we're just going to have to see where the virus is, what we can and can't do, what area schools around us are going to do, because, we're kind of all connected. Sumner, Wilson, Davidson, Robertson, we're all together. So I know people are anxious about that, but nothing yet that I can report.
Well, and they're not any more anxious than the teachers are and the staff would be,
right,
because you want to plan ahead. You want to be able to prepare for next year. But in all reality, you're going to have to start out with options and hoping for one option and having as all the way down to not going to school. And I've also heard that there's possibility, not just for Sumner County, all schools are talking. There's a good possibility they think you'll start, but there's a good chance that they'll have to stop it again if it ramps back up in the fall. So nobody knows anything. We are all just living day by day. I know even with my events, I'm the same way. I feel like I'm planning events to cancel events. So, but you still have to cancel. I mean, still have to go on and plan them just in case you are able to have them. So I know
pretty much all the talk on the news right now is about colleges opening up. And if you watch Fox or CNN or whatever, even colleges are doing it different. Some are starting back really early, not having a fall break, and going to get them out by Thanksgiving.
Yes, I think UT was doing that.
UT, but then I heard we have a student going to Tennessee Tech, and Tech's going to just try to do like normal.
Yes, I heard that about Tech as well.
Everybody's doing something different there too. So there's not going to be a one size fits all to this, I don't think. It's probably going to be based on what the virus is doing in the community where you are and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I could see even in Sumner County possibly where some schools would be going, where others may be having to sit out just based on what's happening. But we don't know yet. It's that's a question we get every single day by several people, and I get it. I mean, I'm leading the school, and I want to know for mine, and I've also got 2 young ones in school, and we don't know what's going on there. But I mean, it's anything from normal to not going back and being online again. I mean, that's the range. It's just what it is.
It is.
And it's a tough deal because, with parents going back to work, a lot of them, the school system, quite frankly, is their daycare center. I mean, it is. They send them to school while they're at work, and they're in good shape. And if they're going to be at work and we're not going to be in school, what do you do? How do you educate them at home? How do you pay for daycare? How do you even find daycare? There's all kinds of questions, and I don't know that there's any perfect good answer to it.
There's not, and I know I was actually at the Sumner County Board of Education building this morning because I was talking about Back to School Bash with them and how that's going to look, because they're supplying school supplies, so that's going to be a little different. But talking with them,
how amazing is that, my friend?
That is amazing, but it is for this year, and I think they're trying to help with this whole everybody that's been out of work. So they're really trying to help the families be able to provide those supplies. Now, they're not going to provide the high school, so we'll actually do backpacks for the high school at our Back to School Bash that will be stuffed as normal. They'll be stuff like they were before. Now, the ones that are in elementary school and middle school, we've actually come up with a separate list for homework pack because they're going to need things to do homework at home. They're going to need their pencils and their paper and their crayons and their colored pencils. So it'll be a different pack, but we're going to have those items in there. But then we're also doing personal hygiene items. We're going to looking at doing toothpaste and toothbrush and shampoo and soaps and laundry detergent and things like that in those backpacks because those are other items needed to start school because,
That's a great idea.
Deodorant, I think, for the 4th grade and up. And so just to provide things that are going to help the families again, just get through these times. And I'm really hoping that those homework packs are used for homework and they're not going to end up having to do all the schoolwork at home. So,
right.
But, and I know everybody. Well, I can tell you if my kids were at home and Sherry had to go to work all day and then teach 3 kids of all different ages with my one computer at home, and my kids probably wouldn't be very smart. We have teachers for a reason. So
it's definitely going to be interesting. Somebody was emailing me because they're concerned about potentially keeping their kids at home and homeschool with the virus. And I told them, I said, the only thing I can tell you for sure is that I know my superintendent and I know my school board, and they're going to do what is in the best interest of keeping the kids safe and healthy. They're not going to try to put them in jeopardy, and whatever that is what it's going to be, and then we're just going to have to deal with it as best we can.
Well, again, it's kind of like everything else. If you feel that is what's best for your child, then that's what you're going to have to do. That's what we're all looking out for. If you feel like you need to wear a mask or you don't need to get out, just like for graduation, yeah. We all have to make our own decisions and decide what we are comfortable with. So it's a tough time. And so all these people that are making these decisions for their household can only imagine what businesses and school boards are doing, making these decisions for thousands of people, to go to work or to go to school or whatever that may happen. So, like I say, I know you guys have been coming up with all these scenarios in your head and just how's it going to work, but you just gonna persevere through it. I know, and they are doing the food packs through the end of the month. Is that correct?
Yeah, June 26th, that Friday is the last day, and that really has slowed down. I mean, at first it was slow, and then it skyrocketed. It took off. We were, I think, serving close to 60,000 meals per day when we did it in the county. It's really slowed down over the summer, so I'm hoping that slowdown is because people are going back to work and getting to some kind of normalcy. Because when it got really high, those high numbers kind of made everybody a little bit nervous because that was at the point where there were a lot of layoffs going on and stuff. So I'm hoping that's what it is and not the fact that people don't know about it, because it's going through the end of June, and like I said, June 26th is the last day.
I think that a lot of people have gone back to work. And I tell you, I know that these food packs have helped families, even families that were working, because with those kids home all day, I mean, they're eating you out of house and home. So I had kids at home, 3 kids. And again, it was your pantry, you had to stock it just about every day. And so those I know have helped when the kids are at home on how much more that they're eating there at the house.
Right.
So, we are excited about graduation. So graduation tickets, you have to have a ticket. So don't go if you don't have a ticket.
Yeah, and just about that, because people have asked me, how do I get my tickets? So we have practice scheduled for the seniors on June 26th at 1 p.m. For obvious reasons, we give out the tickets to the senior at the end of practice. Because if you just started giving them out, I wouldn't even have a practice, right? They wouldn't even come. And who knows what would happen. So they're going to get their 4 tickets at the practice. So if you're interested in coming, you need to make sure that your senior is at our practice on the 26th at Long Hollow at 1 o'clock. Because they need to know what we're doing, since it's different than it has been. They don't need to show up on Saturday morning and be like a duck out of water and not know where they're going. So
Right.
that's how the tickets go down. And I've had people ask me about, well, how do I get extra tickets? You don't. I don't have extras. What if a senior decides not to participate? Can we buy theirs? No. I would have so many people want those extras. There's really no fair way to divvy that out. I've thought about it. I could probably make a ton of money with this, but that's not what it's about. So there's no other way. Then somebody said, well, what if...
Oh, he went away.
Hang on just a second. I had a phone call coming in while we were talking. What if a kid only needs 2? Can I get there too? What I'm telling everybody is once I give those 4 tickets to that senior on Friday, what they do with them after that is their business, not mine. I'll see you Saturday morning. So it's just Go ahead.
So if they had an extra ticket, it would be up to them if they brought a friend.
Yeah. I mean, once I give it to them, if they want to, I met with some of my seniors yesterday, and I was like, look, if I give you your 4 and it's just your mom coming, and you want to give your other 3 to a buddy or sell them for $1,000 a piece, I don't know anything about it. That's your business. I'm staying out of it. I'm not in the black market graduation ticket business. So.
You don't want to know. You just don't want to know. So, but
I've heard all kinds of crazy stories from colleagues of the other schools over the years of the ticket thing. Luckily, on a normal year, we don't do tickets at all. Our community and the number of kids we have graduating, at least right now, is just enough to fill up the sanctuary of Long Hollow. So it hadn't been an issue. If we get much bigger, we're going to have to start probably thinking about that, because beach and station camp deal with tickets all the time down there.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do it.
Well, that is a plus on a normal year. I know, again, this is extenuating circumstances, so they are limited to 4 tickets. And if you have people, grandma and grandpa, they can watch on Facebook, you said?
Yeah, the Sumner County Schools Facebook page, they're going to do the Facebook Live for the ceremonies from Long Hollow. And then Long Hollow has a website. It's called events, events.longhollow.com. And that's where they broadcast most of their stuff. We're so fortunate to have that venue and for them to do that. I mean, they do a great production. And even when it's over, they record the whole thing and give that to us. And like I said, it doesn't cost a thing. I mean, it's unbelievable, because if you were to do that at Volunteer State or like Bowling Green, Kentucky, they graduate at Western, they have to rent those facilities out, and it's not cheap at all. It's just unbelievable we have that here in Sumner County.
And the production that they put on their stage is top notch. So that video that they're getting, I'm sure, is as good as any real, paid for production. And you guys,
it's always great, always.
Yes. So again, we do appreciate all the effort that you were able to put in that. So once we get through graduation, will you be going on vacation?
Well, I was scheduled to, but we canceled it due to the virus. So my vacation will be a staycation.
Well, the one thing you can't get is a swimming pool. So if you were planning on buying a swimming pool, you're not going to be able to get one of those. Or they're all sold out. So. But well, hopefully you'll be able to take some family time and stay at home after you get through this hurdle, and then we go into the what's going to come next hurdle. So.
Well, I told my wife we had a staycation from about March 13th through about May 13th, so we had a 2-month one already.
But you couldn't do anything. I mean, it was sit in a room and look at each other.
No, not really. That's it.
Well, again, we do appreciate all the efforts that you have, and I know that everybody on here has been just commending all that you guys have done to make this happen, and I think they do realize the responsibility that you have versus over so many students, and again, they don't want that decision to have to make, but they do appreciate the efforts that you all put into that.
Yeah. Well, the graduation, we're trying to make it normal as we can in an unnormal world and situation right now. I mean, I've seen everything from no graduations and mail-in diplomas to people trying to have it as normal as possible and everything in between. But this is kind of what we came up with. Like I said, the first shot at it, some people were like, can y'all not think outside the box a little bit and get them across the stage? So we met Monday, came up with a plan to do that. And that's, then I had, hey, can we get more tickets? And that's a no. That one's not negotiable. We're still at the minimum number that we can get in there. But at least we got the other part through, and we'll make the best out of it. And then hopefully we will never have this conversation again.
I hope we do not have to hear the word COVID-19 or COVID anything ever again. So
Right.
I know everybody is ready for it to be over. So, but we will, everybody does need to be watching out for information on the Back to School Bash. We posted that out there that we will be doing backpacks. We're actually going to be distributing those at the high school this year. Thank you for letting us use your facility for that. Due to not being able to have inflatables and all of those fun activities outside, it is really just a drive-through pickup. So that pickup area will be at the high school. We'll have people monitoring to keep people off the main road because, that's always the issue is traffic. That's why we wanted to have it at Portland High School. And but we'll have information out there if you want to donate items. There's a list that will be posted probably today or tomorrow of the items that are needed for the Back to School Bash. So anybody wanting to donate, and then the students that want to pick up, it's going to be on the 25th of July from 9 to 11 there at Portland High School. But,
and the same thing, once we get into July, just be watching social media and checking your email for, registration information and how we're going to try to start school back, not just at Portland High, but at the elementary schools in the area and the whole county. So that's going to be number one priority. And they're working on it now, but you just, like I said, if you make a decision today, it can change by, the end of July, 1st of August. So there's really no sense to say, here's what we're going to do and have to redo something completely different. So it's going to be closer to time, but I know we got to make plans pretty soon. So hopefully early in July, we'll be getting something done on that end as well.
Yes, I think that they're hoping to have something out in the next few weeks. But again, nothing can be set in stone because, as you know, everything has changed weekly. Started changing daily. Now we're down to weekly. So hopefully we'll be able to start as normal and move on. But that's kind of what everybody's praying for, because I know
that's what all the principals and teachers want. I know everybody wants to go normal. So
yes, I know that you do. So it's a lot more work to teach them off site than it is on site, I'm sure.
Yeah. It
Well,
doesn't sound like it on the front end, but when you get into it, it is for sure.
Oh, yeah. So much more work for you guys and harder on the students. I know as a college student, those online classes were tough. Of course, online was a little different when I was doing it. It was several years ago, but online was a little different at that time than it is now. But some people it's harder to learn online. So, but we do appreciate you, and I wish you all the best and all the seniors the best. And if we can do anything to help Portland High School or any of them, let us know. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.